Welcome to Geeks Corner. I'm Mr. DAPS.
I'm Katie.
In Alaska, there is approximately one bear for every 21 people.
For a second, I thought you were just going to end it at, there's approximately one bear. And I went, that doesn't sound right.
And his name is Yogi.
I was like,
I mean, occasionally his smaller cousin visits, but really that's about it.
Just sometimes, though, not all the time.
Okay. Go ahead.
And you are?
Oh, right. I have a name. My name is Cameron. And when I'm not trying to think of clever segues that didn't work this time, I'm here on the Geeks Corner. Welcome. You should use the hashtag Geeks Corner if you're on Twitter, or much more easily, comment on this YouTube stream if you're on it. If you comment something clever or interesting, or if we just like you, we might actually put that comment on screen if it's on the YouTube specifically. So, hi, welcome.
And with that, we'd like to welcome our special guests tonight. We have Adam and Sherry Legg from LeggLife. Welcome, guys. We are so excited that you're here. I hopefully unmuted you as well. Can you hear?
We can. I think we're good.
Great. Everything worked. I love it when things like that happen. Well, you guys run a fantastic YouTube show called LeggLife, or channel called LeggLife, that I have been doing my research on in the last, week and a half, Cameron, 2 weeks, something like that, and have been thoroughly enjoying. Especially, I love that you guys share crafts together. That was fun to watch. I think I was watching that this morning, actually, when I was supposed to be working, but that's okay.
We won't tell.
That's right.
Welcome, guys. Can you tell us very briefly before we get into the show, what is your first Disney memory?
Good question. Sherry, you want to go first?
Sure. So my parents' best friends lived in Florida. I grew up in Indiana, and every other year we would go down and visit them. And so we would go to Disney. And my first actual memory, I would think I was probably 6. And we went to Epcot, and we have a picture. It was very 80s, because I think it was probably 1987-ish. So pretty fantastic, like the big hats and the braids, and it's amazing.
There's a lot of tube socks in that photo. That's
I love that. That's amazing.
The best part of Epcot in every way imaginable, right?
Yep.
I think for me, my first memory, obviously other than like Disney movies as a kid, I kind of got into Disney a little bit late. I went to Disneyland with some friends when I was a teenager, and growing up in Alaska, we don't have theme parks. We didn't have anything like that. And so to me, to walk into a place like Disneyland was otherworldly, to be quite honest. And I was I was hooked from the beginning. So that would be my first like significant Disney memory.
And do you guys have like from that first trip, whether it was Disneyland or Walt Disney World, do you have that first, like, this was that iconic Disney moment that you're just like, yes, this is it? Like, whether it was an attraction or a parade or whatever, character interaction.
Yeah, so I have a picture. My dad actually took the picture, so he wasn't in it, but my mom and my brother and my sister and me in front of Spaceship Earth. So it's just the iconic Epcot ball. And when we went back there in like 2013 or 14, we took the same photo. So we have one of us too.
Yeah. I think for me, it was just the first time seeing the castle. It's you see photos of it, no matter, whether you grew up in rural Alaska or anywhere, it's like, it's the castle. We've all seen it, but then to stand in front of it and to be there, to me, it was just surreal. And so I think of that moment for sure.
Oh, that's very cool. And it's fitting that both of you went straight to theme parks as the opening of this, because before we dig into everything about you guys tonight and your story, and we ask a million questions, it is worth noting that yesterday there was a pretty big shakeup and promotions for a lot of people in the Disney parks. And we here in the Disneyland area, we're very excited because Josh D'Amaro used to be the Disneyland president, and he started actually at Disneyland years ago, I think in the 90s, if I remember correctly. And 98, thank you. And he is now the chairman of Disney Parks Experiences and Products. And I'm just going to go around all 4 screens, and I'll go last. What do you guys think about this leadership shakeup for the Disney parks? And Legs, you get to go first.
We were talking a little bit about this earlier. I don't think I could have been happier, to be quite honest. Like, I'm just such a fan of him. And to me, as somebody who like loves the parks, loves the cruise line, I kind of love everything that he's now over. It was like a dream pick for me. And so I honestly could not have been happier. Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts, Sherry?
I agree.
Completely.
Good. You're going to hear a lot of echoes in this conversation.
Okay, that's fine. Katie, what do you think? Yes.
My name. I'm Katie. I think that Josh Dumaro is a wonderful person. I talked about it a little bit in the stream yesterday, but he is someone that not only understands how to run a business, which is incredibly important in the position that he's in, but he understands Disney magic, which is you could have anybody that has a business degree or an MBA and throw him in there and be like, hey, run a park. But he understands Disney's core values and he executes them in the way he lives his life. So I am thrilled that he is the chairman. Like I'm so excited.
Awesome. And Cameron.
The first mark of a good chairman is an excellent head of hair, and quite frankly, knocked it out of the park.
That's true.
It's really weird in the sense of I knew of him from the perspective of being under him in employ in my times as a cast member, and the only thing I ever heard about him was, oh, it's so great when he comes around, which you never hear about anyone in leadership and other positions. And there's this really weird sense of like hometown hero pride I feel like we're having, that he's the one that's moved up to the level of taking over the parks, because he's done a fantastic job with the properties he's had control of. And Disneyland is in large part kind of gotten a new life under him. And I look forward to seeing what that means for the parks as a whole.
Well, and I think to just echo what all of you are saying is he's done all of that, but he's also ridiculously personable as he's been doing it. He genuinely cares about people. And so I'm assuming, Katie, you met him, right?
I met him at Galaxy's Edge opening
And
day.
Cameron, you met him? Did you guys get to meet him?
Nope.
Okay, so what I can tell you from my experiences meeting him is every time you see him, he takes interest in something about you and what you're doing. And so with me, it was always, the first question was always the bow tie. What bow tie are you wearing today? But then we go geeking off about Star Wars, or we'd start talking about something at Disneyland or fireworks or like random things. And you learned very quickly that he's as big of a fan as any of us. And he could be sitting right here with us right now and probably out geek all five of us. And
it's very much the same thing we like about Dave Filoni a la Star Wars.
Absolutely.
He's fan first, and that really helps.
That's 100%. But I think this really, on a bigger level, this bodes really well for the whole Walt Disney Company at large, as we're now getting to know what Bob Chapek's going to be like as a leader or as a CEO. And one of the good hallmarks of a good leader is the people he surrounds himself with. And it seems like he did a really stellar job yesterday with the announcements that he made. Anybody have any final thoughts on that before we move to more fun stuff?
No.
Okay. I felt like I should have had like a little background music thing going on. All right. So you guys are up in Alaska, which we were talking a little bit before the show, one of my favorite places to go on the planet. The very first thing I noticed when we hopped on tonight, though, was your awesome background. So can you tell us a little bit about some of your mementos behind maybe some favorites, what they are, where they came from, and why?
Yeah, I love that question. So we built the space about a year ago here.
Where are you, by the way?
So we have a room in our home that was just kind of our office.
It's always sort of been like a whatever kind of room.
Yeah, I think office is the kind word for sort of catch-all room, right? And so we never really had a dedicated spot to film. And so whenever we do like sit-down videos, it would always be like pull out a folding table, pull out some chairs
room in front of our fireplace.
Yeah, and so we just wanted a dedicated spot. And you know, the theme of our channel, obviously, even what we tried to do is capture the theme of our channel in a wall. And so there's like a lot of Disney, but honestly, there's a lot of other stuff. There's like an antique coffee maker or coffee grinder over here. And there's like some Funko Pops of like the Seahawks, which is my favorite football team. And there's some Alaska stuff. And so
we have a fake succulent because we can't actually keep plants alive.
That's true.
That's a good choice.
Relatable content. Thank you.
Yeah. and so really for us, we tried to like put a wall together that we felt like represented us, but then also what we wanted our channel to be. And this is what we got. And one thing that's really cool is that like there's so much stuff back here that like some of our viewers have made or have sent us.
Yep.
And so it's just, I don't know, every time I walk in here and like sit down and turn on the lights, I'm like, you know what? I really love the space.
It's a good space.
Yeah.
It's a great space. So you guys have a YouTube channel, obviously. How'd you get started with YouTube?
5 years ago this summer will be our anniversary for this channel. I was on YouTube about 10 years ago, and it was just a place that I started uploading videos because it's where I consumed content. Like, we're not a big TV couple, you know, like we love movies, but we don't watch a lot of TV. What we primarily would watch would be YouTube. And when we got married, I started sort of joking about, hey, we should start a couples vlog, but then kind of like wait and see what her response would be. Right? And it's like, and so she was never.
I was like, no, thank you.
Yeah, she was never stoked about the idea. And about 5 years ago, we videoed one of our trips here in Alaska. It was like a Saturday. We were out of town, and I said, you know what, we're gonna vlog today. And
he pulled out the camera and he's like, by the way, we're vlogging.
By the way, we're vlogging today.
Not a lot of preamble. It's like, it's happening now. Go.
Yeah. Surprise. At least that wasn't like, hey, I've been vlogging, right? Like, I don't know, in advance.
That would work really well for you, I'm sure.
It would have been great. But yeah, now 5 years later, and we're still at it, and it's been
a lot of fun.
It's been a lot of fun. Yeah.
So talk as you're pulling together different shows and live streams. What is your creative process? Because, you know, I think a lot of people see what ends up on the screen, and there's not always that cognition, I guess you could say, of what happens before and after they see what they see. Yeah.
We try to be really intentional with our content. We think that if you're going to put in the time to film and share your life, like, be intentional about that, right? And so for us, we try to have like a balance and ebb and a flow of what we share. You know, living in Alaska, we can't vlog the parks all of the time, right?
We can't be exclusively Disney because there's just not that much in Alaska that we can do.
Yeah. And so for us, we do try to, you know, create a rhythm of, okay, you know, even though we can't go to the parks, like every couple of weeks, we still have Disney content. Maybe it's like a sit down Disney trivia. Maybe it's answering Disney questions or Disney movie quotes. So we try to include that kind of stuff in our natural rhythm, but then also say, okay, how many just like real life vlogs do we want to have? How many sit down? How many, and we just try to be intentional about that. I think that stuff matters. And we're really honest with our community. You know, we've shared things like even why we can't have kids, like deeply personal kind of things with our audience. But then also we share, like, you know, trying to make Dole Whips, right? And so it's
an entire can of paint on our floor.
Yeah, I ruined some carpet.
I saw that one.
Yeah, so wonderful. That happens. So yeah, we try to, the creative process for us really is more about a balance in the content, and then asking, is what we shared really true to the life we're living? Which is huge to us.
Yeah.
We try to be very intentional about not ever, I think the way that we've worded it is we don't ever want to fake living leg life because we have to like film it. And so if we have a video to go out on Wednesday and we're not happy with either what we filmed or we just don't have anything, we're not going to make something up.
Right.
Like we just
won't have a video.
We just won't have a video.
Yeah.
We just don't think that for us, with the community we're trying to build, we don't think it's fair for us to fake that stuff. And so, yeah, so we don't.
That's awesome. Cameron or Katie, do you have questions? Because I can go all night.
Yeah, I think I can ask the most important questions. And Adam, notice the facial hair.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
Yeah. You may have noticed I might have some myself.
I definitely have noticed.
So I just wanted to connect, proper human to proper human. What's that about? Like, how do you feel being better than everyone just automatically when you enter a room? Is it the same feeling I get? Because it's pretty good.
I have to practice humility around others because it's like, wow, I could really gloat, but I'm going to choose not to.
Oh, see, yeah, we have hair.
Yeah, we have beards.
I don't know. I was going to leave the various colored hair comment for Katie. That's coming in a moment. I do know Adam is a big proponent of proper beard care, which is something that I am a big fan of myself. I have more products than my wife.
You should
does.
see the video of him getting his beard shaved, by the way, Adam.
It
is.
I shaved it off for a local children's hospital when we did some fundraising a couple years back.
It was amazing.
Same thing for a charity.
Yeah.
Hey, look at that.
Yeah, and
it's as valuable as much value as you put on it. And if I'm
bearded and kind, wow, we really do have it all, Cameron. It's pretty amazing.
Man, and handsome too. It's so good. Good for us.
Yeah.
Good for us.
Good for us.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, that covers everything I want to talk about. So,
Katie, did you have a
Perfect.
question?
Well, I'm going to ask a question because I am wearing my neon Space Mickey shirt because it is one of my favorite things in the Disneyland Resort. Because Space Mickey, he's the best. Do you guys have a place that you could just sit for hours on end and do nothing but just soak up Disney parks?
Right in front of the castle. Grab one of those benches and just people
Yes.
watch.
Which castle would you pick?
Ugh.
Sorry, I heard it and I immediately was like, well, you went to Florida first. He went to California
there
first.
is a right answer, by the
There's
way.
other.
Yeah.
There's also
There is.
other castles you could choose.
We agree on this.
Okay,
Disneyland.
Yep,
Okay.
there we go. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
you can stay on then. I mean,
Yeah.
that's great.
We could have kicked you right off. But,
Our screen just goes black. Hello, are you guys still here? What happens?
And we want to thank whoever that was for joining us, but
we don't know how they got here.
Yeah. Hey, my answer would be the same. You know, we read a book about Walt a couple of years ago together.
Biography.
A biography about Walt. And one of the
Which
things,
one was it?
Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
No,
We
I,
actually have it on display
Yeah.
in our living room.
I don't remember the
I don't
name of
remember
it.
what it's called.
but it talked about when he was building the hub area that his vision would be that parents and grandparents would sit there while the kids went off to the different areas of the park and played. And it's like, that's such a foreign concept now, but to us, it spoke to just like the innocence of the world in Walt today, that you could
Right.
create a space like that. And so when I still to this day sit in the hub, whether it's in California or whether it's in Florida, like I just think about the world that he designed that space in.
Right.
And so
And
to me, I could be there for hours. Like I could spend a day just there.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
Yeah.
It's also fun to count proposals.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
my
Because-
wife actually has a skill when it comes to that. Mind you, we were in the parks working. We were there quite often. She has a gift at just missing every single proposal. She always comes
Oh, no.
right after the fact.
I'm frequently like, why are people cheering? What happened? What did I miss? What's going on? Huh? What?
He's standing up. People are crying. What's happening?
What's quick? They're all jumping. Why are they yelling? Yes.
Oh, man.
So you've been to Disneyland, Walt Disney World, all the cruise ships. Have you gotten to go to other Disney theme parks around the globe?
We've been to Disneyland Paris.
Yep.
Love Disneyland Paris.
Yep, went 3 years ago, and
Mhm.
obviously, like one of our Disney bucket list is to hit all of the international parks.
Right.
That's for sure on our goal. But yeah, those are the ones we've been to so far.
That's very good. What is your favorite Disney movie?
Again, there is a right
I
answer.
cannot pick.
You have a couple that are close though.
I have a couple
You
that
can
are-
have a couple honorable mentions.
Yeah. I love Beauty and the Beast. I love Tangled.
Yep.
I kind of love Disney movies.
Maybe a little bit.
Disney movie, I'm a fan.
That's true. I am a huge Big Hero 6 fan. Like, love Big Hero 6.
We have a lot of Baymaxes.
There's a lot of
dotted
Baymaxes around. Yep.
What is the plural of Baymax, by the way? Is
Baymaxes?
I think
Baymaxes?
it's a Google of
Baymax
Baymax.
Eye.
I think it's a
I think Baymax Eye.
Baymax Eye. Yes, that's
I'm with Sherry on that one.
Or is it like Moose, where it's just Baymax? Just
yeah, that's right. That's right.
Could be.
I'm going to hop into the comments because we have a question actually for us that did we work at Disney? I have not worked at Disney, and I'm going to let you two answer for yourselves.
I worked at a children's theme park adjacent from Disney. That's a fun story. I worked there for 2 years. And no, I've worked at Starbucks actually for 6 years.
and she is a coffee master, no less. So Sherry, I think you two need to have a conversation about the bean. Both gifted. I think I'm the only cast member on the stream. I was there for a wonderful couple of years and it's led to some amazing opportunities after. So I have a lot of respect for the company.
And that's actually how we met Cameron, was when he was working there. And one of our former co-hosts that went off and got married, and all those adult things. And
Shameful.
we just never grew up. So that is okay. Favorite. Go ahead.
The first time I met Mr. Daps, I was in the Mad Hatter, and I was busy trying to show someone where the Cheshire Cat wasn't. I think was the exact moment I met you, Mr. Daps. So
Wow.
And really, that just said everything there, because Mad Hatter, Cheshire, all that stuff. Clocky McDowell asks, what order would you visit the international parks? I'll let you guys answer this. What do you think is the correct order to visit international parks?
Well, there's a cruise that's not Disney that actually hits all 3 of the Asian parks
Really?
Yeah, it goes.
on a 2-week cruise.
Yeah, so
Wow.
it's obviously the goal of it isn't that or the goal of it isn't the parks, but it stops in those cities.
It stops in those
So you
cities
might
so-
as well.
2 days, like it overnights.
Yeah.
It actually
Cool.
do parks.
Yes, we've heard a number of people that have kind of knocked them all out that way. To me, is a difficult question because I think that like whatever your travel schedule and ability allows you to do, like do that first, right? It's like if you can get
Right.
to Paris quickly, go. If you
Right.
can get to
Mhm.
Shanghai quickly, go.
Mhm.
To me, I think it's more about getting it done and actually experiencing it than necessarily having the right order because like it's going to be amazing,
Right.
right? No matter what order you
It's
do it in,
Disney.
it's Disney.
Right.
I think it would have been cool, like if money was no object. I actually think it would be amazing to visit them in the order that they were opened.
I think that's cool.
Yes.
I think that would have been the coolest
Right.
possible thing if you could make that happen.
Which is actually what he has done.
That is what I've
I
done.
was going to
so
say,
far.
you're 3 in. I was doing the math in my head. I'm like, Disneyland, Disney World, Paris. Yeah, on track.
Yeah,
That's 3.
that's yep.
So, favorite Disney character? And you can use expanded Disney. I will accept Pixar, Marvel, Muppets, and Star Wars.
Of course, you put Muppets in there.
Yeah, because see, I would choose Kermit the Frog, so I have to like
You
Yeah,
put your own
Disney-
caveat in for your own sake. I like that.
exactly.
That's
I love
amazing.
that.
Right.
What do you think?
Belle or Rapunzel.
Okay, that makes
Good
sense.
answers.
Yeah, mine is Baymax. Like I go back to Hero 6. Like
Always
I
Baymax.
love. There is not a thing about Baymax I don't love. Like to me, he is perfect. I laugh, I cry. It's the best.
He's
Did-
for sure an Enneagram 2, which is what Adam
Yeah,
is.
I
So
am.
he's-
I am the Baymax as a person.
That's
And
amazing.
yeah, and so it's been really hard for me
I
during.
just
like,
want to help.
if Baymax had a beard, that is.
You got to meet Baymax in Florida, right?
No,
Disneyland.
we actually have
Oh.
not.
Oh, you so
Needs
need
to happen.
to.
I know. Well, it's crazy because you have no clue the number of meet and greet photos our viewers send us of them with Baymax, and every time I
and
have,
our friends here, like they go to Disneyland and they're like,
and I have
"Hey."
2 emotions when they send me that photo. One, I'm really happy for you, and 2, I'm a little furious that I have not had that experience yet.
Yeah,
think
because it's exactly what you would hope it would be. Like,
I know.
I'm just
I-
gonna leave it at that because now I feel a little bit guilty for having
Yeah.
met him
Oh, I don't. It's
multiple
wonderful.
times.
I was
You're
gonna
gonna
say-
remove me because I wouldn't let go. That's the problem.
No, every time.
But that's
that
what
he's
happens
gone,
is,
he's
like,
not-
you see
he's
that.
not there.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Oh,
Katie, were you
man.
gonna say something?
No, I was going to talk about the fact that I think you have a video that I still haven't seen of me crying meeting Baymax.
Yeah.
Like Baymax hugged me and I just like cried. And then I like went to walk away and Baymax like offered another hug and I was like, okay. Like,
My goodness.
And
That's
it's
right.
funny
I
because
forgot about that.
Baymax doesn't place nearly as high on my list. I still love him, but that I still got emotional the first time meeting him as he was walking away because he deflates a little bit to be able to get through the door, and it's
Oh my God.
perfect. It's so
It's
good.
it's amazing.
it's an amazing, yeah.
I would say it's one of the most on different levels, one of the coolest meet and greets you can do, just because of how it's created, but it really does come to life. All right, so we do have another viewer question for the 2 of you, since I'm not going to make the rest of us go into this. Who has more Disney knowledge, Adam or Sherry?
Nope. Not
Not even close, huh?
Nope. Not even close.
No, I'm just a giant nerd and I retain information really well. So I have
That's a
read
gift.
everything and I've seen everything. And
When we do like Disney trivia on the cruise ships, I genuinely think she must be cheating with her phone because there's no way she knows this stuff. And she does. And me, it's like I could have watched a movie 2 weeks ago and had no clue. I just don't retain information. She retains everything.
That's
That
amazing.
is amazing.
This,
So-
this feels like an open door for trivia questions, and I'm trying to think of some off the dome.
Well, I have another question that follows up with that, Sherry. Is if somebody wants to learn more about Disney history and trivia and stuff like that, where would you send them?
oof.
Back in time.
Right, yeah,
Right.
I mean, really, I'm 38 and it's been 38 years of watching every movie and reading every book and listening to every soundtrack. And I don't know if there's like one spot that'd be like, go here and study up. I don't know.
There's a future vlog.
Well, yeah.
Totally.
Like, I want to see your library.
Yeah.
We have another question for you. How do you get your Disney fix when you need it in Alaska?
It's a really good question. And it's actually been interesting because during this quarantine, we've had a lot of people who have messaged us and said, hey, like, how do you guys keep the magic alive with Disney? Because you can't go to the parks all the time, which for us, like, we're kind of used to that,
It's
right?
Yeah.
for life, right?
And so I think it's having little like doses of Disney throughout a lot of parts of our life. So, I mean, it's everything from our essential oil diffuser that has like Disney scents to the fact that we are intentional about watching Disney music, to the fact that we film in a space like this. We have Disney stuff around our house. Like, we can't get away. So even though we can't get to the parks, we've brought some of the things that we love most about Disney here to our home. And so that's been huge. And then other things, just like even keeping connected to the Disney community online, like watching other people's content. We might not be able to go to the parks, but every day, for the most part, there's videos of others who are. And so just like experiencing it through other people's experiences as well, I think.
Yep.
That's very cool. So we're starting to run out of time. Before we do that, I want to ask, what future adventures do you guys have in store for yourselves?
We actually have a few things that we're really excited about. The next Disney adventure for us is this September. We actually have our LeggLife viewer cruise on the Disney Wonder out of San Diego. For a few years, our audience has been asking us if we would ever do something like that. And we said, no, that's crazy. Who would want to go on vacation with us?
Right.
And so we opened it up, and like 150 plus people have now booked to go with us.
So apparently a lot of people.
That is a lot of people.
And so we're super excited. Again, fingers crossed, right? Obviously, travel's a big question right now, but we so hope that we get to be with them. And even if that cruise is canceled, we're going to rebook and we'll get our community together. So we have that in September. We have another probable Disney World trip in December we're planning.
Cool.
And then just other travel as it comes up. Travel is one of those things that for us, we always prioritize. So this is a weird year to be making travel plans, right?
Right.
So I think for the summer months, we're going to travel a lot around Alaska. We have a ton of Alaskan adventures here in our own backyard. We're going to try to get out and just play tourist here in this amazing state we get to call home.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Katie and Cameron, do you have any last questions?
Oh goodness, you put us on the spot. Now I
didn't want to be taking all of the.
Tell us about your beard oil and your Etsy shop.
Yes, please.
You want to start with Etsy?
Well, we both have Etsy shops.
Yes, talk about the ears, please.
I make Disney ears, and I have my own Etsy shop. So that's been going really well, surprisingly well for a couple of years. And then he just started an Etsy shop. Yeah,
I started making beard oil at the beginning of quarantine because I thought I'm like an obsession looking for a compulsion. Like, I need something to keep me busy. And in one of our live streams, a viewer asked if I'd ever make my own beard oil, and I make my own and have for a while. And so I thought, yeah, that's a cool quarantine project. And then our viewers,
so he made like 10 bottles,
and it just like sold out in minutes. And then we made another batch, and it sold out in minutes. And so now it's kind of become this own thing. And so we made like 52 bottles the other night. And so now our house is like, it would be really funny because our living room is covered in glitter from her ears and beard oil from my stuff. And so it's
trying to restock my shop.
It is such a confusing scene. It is,
and that is Disney magic.
That's totally right.
Very, very important question for Sherry specifically about the ears.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen this specifically addressed. I'm sure you've talked about it before. Yes, cute ears are all well and good, but Adam and I share a trait of hat size. How do your ears do on this thing?
On the this.
You know what I'm talking about if you've ever worn a pair of ears.
True.
I don't know, but I will say he has worn my ears like around the house, and he says they're comfortable.
Well, one of the reasons she started making her own ears is that, I mean, she loves, and the ear collection she has is huge. But what we found is that we go to the parks, and a couple hours in, like, she has a headache from it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And then we're like carrying ears for the rest of the day. And so, to be honest with you, like, the ear shop started out as just her making her own ears that wouldn't give her a headache.
Right. So I just made my own for every trip that we did.
Oh, that's great.
I was wearing them in the vlogs, and people
the viewers
were like,
started
where
asking,
can I get those?
Awesome.
Yeah. So it initially just started out because she wanted a more comfortable ear.
Yeah.
And now it's
success.
Now there's glitter everywhere.
That is awesome.
I love glitter.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming on. This has been a real treat. If people would like to follow you and connect with you and maybe even go on cruises with you, where should they go?
Yeah. So we post 3 videos a week over on our YouTube channel. It's a LeggLife. Our last name is Leg, Legg. You can follow us there. We're posting on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We've been live streaming on Sundays. We're also on Facebook, on Instagram. So we try to stay connected to people wherever the people are. But Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, really probably the 3 main places for us.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being on the show. Cameron, I forgot my bell.
How dare you.
Usually I hit this ding right around now and Cameron gets us off the show. But I've been in my office for the last 10 weeks and I just now had this moment. It's like, I don't have a bell. Anyway, Cameron, get us out of here. Exactly.
And I just start salivating every time it happens.
Every time.
You should go to thegeekscorner.com if you're not there already watching the show. That's thegeekscorner.com. It is a web URL we pay money yearly to be able to own and put these videos on.
It's true. Go to dapsmagic.com. Check out all the Disney and geek news as it happens because things are starting to happen again. It's kind of exciting. Subscribe to our mailing list and find our Patreon.
And make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel so that you can find more of our fun and zany adventures that we have all of the time. We've got a lot of retro videos that are going to still be going up. We've got some more retro video games with Murray.
Oh my gosh.
And our live streams coming up also as we have time for them. And don't forget, we've got Dungeons and Dragons that's coming up on Thursday nights as well. We got something special planned for this week. I think, Cameron, is that correct?
We do indeed.
But that is all the time we have for you this week. So we will see you around the corner.
Bye.